I'm actually, by background, I'm a software engineer.
Yes.
I started programming when I was very, very young, age of probably 8, when computers were very primitive, making computer games.
Yes.
And then I, what do you call, went on studying computer science, became an engineer. I graduated. I worked for a company very, very quickly and doing analytics. You know, whatever products are being launched, how do you analyze whether these products are making sense or not?
Okay.
Accidentally, when I joined the software company, I happened to be a co-CEO. The very long story short, the CEO of the company then, who founded the company with another partner, he saw me very efficient in making programming. He said, "Why don't you become a partner?" I said, "I never thought of that yet." So I started becoming
Okay.
a co-CEO with him. So I was handling the software division and he was handling the hardware division.
Okay.
We did very well from software wise of it, but hardware was not really that much. So we kind of called it off in less than a year. So I got a break to work at Citibank.
Okay.
So I worked with Citibank for about 15 years, covering regionally, local role, regional role, and international role. And that was from all the aspect of SME, corporate, retail banking, quite a lot of things, to be honest with you. Citibank is a university. I'm sure you heard about Citigroup.
Yes.
It was a second sought MBA graduate in US after, what do you call it, when they graduate, they weren't seek as an organization to work with. Citigroup was the second one in US.
Okay.
I was in me to look for Islamic banking from faith perspective. So I wanted to go from conventional banking, Islamic banking. I got a chance to work at Dubai Bank. I was the chief risk officer over there. And then that was in about 2008. And that bank got merged in 2012 by another larger bank in the region called Emirates NBD.
Okay. Okay.
Emirates NBD worked over there as a global head for Islamic banking.
Yes.
Also, a short while, I was also co-headed, I was a double hatting, a group head of wholesale banking chief operating officer.
Yes.
So I was also managing that. Left the banking January 2020, and I started board position. So currently, I'm on a board of a Serkal family, a family office which has been there for more than 176 years old. Which we'll talk about that. I'll give you more detail about it. I'm also sits as a board of governance, chairman of board of governance of schools. Also work with the Ministry of Economy and certain projects in terms of sustainability of family offices through a venture studio program. We sit also as the executive member committee of the Ministry of Climate Change. Also a co-founder of a startup company called Blink Lab.
Wow, that's impressive. Can you provide an overview of Serkal and its main objective?
Serkal, it's a very long story, so I'll try to shorten it as much as possible.
No problem. Be comfortable.
It's a 176 years old family.
Okay.
The family started as a political role for about 75 years. So they were actually to making sure all the treaties which were established, they were the agent between the government of UAE at that point of time, the trucial government called, and the Britishers.
Okay.
So they were making sure all these treaties were established are getting executed.
Mm-hmm.
They were also in the short while issuing permits for people coming into the country. They were also looking after many other things in terms of judiciary and so forth. The group started. The first thing they did, of course, there was a Bridgestone where they became the sole agent back in 1958, very early on in their life and career. They also became the co-founder of Pepsi, which is under a company called Dubai Refreshment Company in 1959.
Wow.
And then they also started the telecom company. The family or the grandfather, he brought the first telephone in around 1957, which led the development of Dubai Telephone Company. And then later on became Etisalat. Etisalat is the 10th or 12th largest telecom company globally today. And that was established in 1960. They also brought generators for home to have electricity, again, back in 1957. And that led to the development of the DIWA, the Dubai Water and Electricity Authority today. So the family was one of the founding member in 1961 of that authority. Similarly, in 1963, they were also founding members of the Sharjah Water Electricity in Sharjah State.
Okay.
But to kill the monopoly of certain bank at that point of time, so they led the development of co-founding a bank called National Bank of Dubai, which is Emirates NBD today in 1963, which is one of the largest bank in the region, in the Middle East region. And they also led the co-founding another bank called Commercial Bank of Dubai in about 1969. Of course, they founded the insurance company. They founded a philanthropic Beit Al Khair, which is a charity organization. Isa Travel they started. They started and pivoted to something for circular economy in terms of sustainability. A company called Blue, which offer blue services, soft services for companies and businessmen. That was back in 1992. That also led to the development of a company called Enviral, which is a circular economy company related to managing food waste. So all the waste that you have from food establishment in terms of the fat and oil and grease, it comes to this plant, get treated, and byproduct comes out of the plant in terms of water, which is used for agriculture, irrigation. A brown oil comes out, which is used for soap manufacturing, and then a sludge which comes out, which can be treated for as a what you call fertilizers for agriculture as well. They also opened something called a Serkal Avenue, which is a very the fifth largest visiting place in the UAE today. It's in a happening place back in 2006.
Okay.
They also started an Amara facility, material recovery facility, under the name of Green Mountain in 2007. They opened a glass factory in 2009. And then they also pivoted to open something related to infrastructure, back to infrastructure in 2008, a company called United Trans. So all the metros that we have today in Dubai, all the OEM since inception is with the family.
Okay.
We're also the sole agent for Etihad Rail in terms of the locomotive, which are the engine which pulls all the wagons. We're also the agent for the wagons, which comes from a company called CRRC in China. Of course, we bought the first passenger train, which was showcased during the National Day on December 2nd, 2022.
Yes.
We also do provide screening services to airports, where all the baggage screening and so forth. Then we opened a sport club in 2015. We opened in Oman art gallery. Yes. And then we're back again opening another plant, hopefully by July, August this year, in terms of circular economy, where all your used cooking oils can be converted as a biofuel, and that biofuel can be used to power up a plane or a plant or trucks.
Okay.
Of course, during the COVID, we launched a smart mobility, which is related to the first mile, last mile in terms of metro. So through certain zones within the UAE, through an app, you can actually call for a minibus to come and pick you up or drop you off to the metro as well. Okay. We opened another company in 2020, which is Heritage Express. It's an organization where, as a foreigner, if you don't understand what UAE is all about, they acclimatize you to the culture of UAE, the food, the language you speak, how was the past, and so forth. So this is the kind of a gist of a Serkal family office. See, if you look at most of the organizations globally have put a mission of going net zero by 2025, 2030, 40, and 50, very, very quickly.
Yes.
The approach that we're following today is very pragmatic. So the team is working on today on establishing a framework. So that will give us a direction. What is it that we need to do in terms of as companies to be sustainable? And then that document, when it's there, it will also entail what will be the roadmap that we need to follow, and then accordingly will we have a KPI. So then we'll be having a clarity in how to make sure the whole environment to be sustainable. But one of the key things that we need to also remember, how do we become resilient as well as embedded as a part of strategy? Mm-hmm. Of course, many of our businesses are already into environmental related things where we actually preserve the environment. We make sure whatever we produce today in the city, in the country, we can go back to the city again by treating them. So that's part of the circular economy. So overall, it's very much embedded in the culture of the organization.
Okay. Can you share any future plan or goal of Serkal?
Of course, we're trying to see how can we now share the knowledge that we have today with other countries and cities, neighbor in the region and globally. So I think one other thing we're trying to do, the plant that we have, which is very unique and vital in the entire Middle East, we've been approached by many countries. We're going to Bahrain, where we're hoping and working with the government there that we can also establish a plant over there. Similarly, with the government of KSA, Kingdom of Saudi Arabia, we've signed a MOU with government of Kazakhstan to carry out a feasibility study and see the establishment of that plant over there. We also signed a couple of MOUs with Indonesia government and a couple of cities over there like Surabaya, Telangana, on how can we do a carry out feasibility study. As we speak, the team is on the ground over there. They're carrying out a feasibility study and see how futurely can we also implement a similar plant over there.